Good morning, everybody. Look like we back at it again. I hope everybody doing well. I hope the weekend was good for you. I hope that your family members are doing well also in the midst of this pandemic. I had a funny situation happen to me this weekend, y'all. I just wanted to share it with you. I'm out picking up a pizza and I run into, one of my longtime friends. Really, he more like a brother to me. And me and him was talking, we were having a conversation. And he said that another family that we knew, they were asking him, inquiring about, whether or not they had seen me, whether or not, I had been in contact with him. And he made a statement, really, I think that made a lot of sense. Like I mentioned, now this is a long-term friend, man. He was there when I graduated from college. He was there when I got married. He was there when I had my first daughter. Now, he's been around a long time. And so his reply to, the family that was inquiring of him was that he said, well, I tell you what's going to happen. He said, Marcus might be dealing with something right now, but what's going to happen is when he's finished dealing with whatever he has to deal with, then he'll come back around. And I thought for a moment, I said, man, that's really true. This guy really knows me. But what it does is, for me, it highlights something. When you have a person in your life that's been a friend to you, been solid over all those many years, it's a need to fight for those individuals. Because sometimes you have people that are introduced into your circle of friends and they see how close you are. And sad to say, sometimes their desire is to break up their closeness, to prevent, the two people that might share a lot in common from getting along. And so in situations like that, who is at fault or who bears the burden of proof? When somebody comes to you saying something negative about one of your long-term friends or your long-time friends, is the burden of proof on that friend, or is it on the individual that's bringing that message to you? That's something to think about now. Because like I said, if they've been a long-term friend of yours, when the chips were down, they were standing right with you. When things weren't going well for you, they were standing right there still. And then as things began to get better, they were still with you. So the burden of proof is not on your friend, but on the individual that's bringing you this negative information. So now what I challenge you to do, especially if this is a friend that's been solid with you, everything that happens, they with you. You make that person who's bringing you that information prove what they saying. Before you take that to your friend, you make that individual prove it. Since they brought that information to you and they did it to try to break up you all's friendship, make that individual prove it. Because one or two things can happen. Either you can make that individual prove what they're saying, or you can take what they're saying into the relationship with you and your friend and possibly cause some conflict. I've had it to happen before. But I wanted to focus on that this morning because it was on my mind. It's amazing how people can see other individuals who share a genuine connection, and their whole purpose in getting close to those individuals is to break up that connection. You don't have it in you to, add to the connection. You don't have it in it to you to be positive and to try to put forth something that's going to help the situation instead of causing drama and difficulty. See, this is the reason why, if you notice, especially nowadays, because of the pandemic and because of, the isolation that we've had to go through, when you go throughout your day, now I'm making a supposition now. If I'm wrong, I know y'all correct me. But when you go throughout your day, who do you contact? Who do you talk to throughout the day? I'm willing to wager that you only talk to the people that you feel are important. If you don't have to have interaction with people, you choose not to. The only people you talk to are the one that's important. So now, if a person isn't important, they don't hit that list of priorities, right? Person isn't necessarily somebody that you have to talk to. then in real life, is that person adding anything with their friendship of you? If you don't value them enough to talk to them during the day, I got news for you. These people might not be your friends. They might not be. That's why you see so many people there cutting people out of their circle. Their circles are getting smaller and smaller until the only people that are left are the people that's most important. Because you don't have time now to waste. The pandemic has shown us that we don't have time to waste. You got people that have lost loved ones, they've lost friends in death, and they're serious. So people are now beginning to focus on what's most important, especially with friendship. They're focusing on what's most important. And so, like I mentioned in the title, you need to fight for your friends, man. Somebody brings something that doesn't sound like them, don't just take it. Don't just take it. But now I'm not saying that you should be gullible either. But if you spent a long period of time with this person, you know them. You know what sounds like them. You know what doesn't sound like them. So before you introduce conflict, think about who's bringing it to you. What could be their agenda? What could be their purpose? And if the purpose isn't positive, don't pay it no mind. And I was thankful, man. After we got through having that conversation, I was thankful because he more like a brother to me. I was thankful that he understood that the way I handle things is I don't bring conflict into a situation, especially if my friend had nothing to do with the conflict. If I have a business deal that falls through, or maybe I have a project that is going to take more time than I anticipated, why am I bringing that negativity to my friend when he had nothing to do with it? Why am I taking that out on him? That's unnecessary. And I'm sure it's a whole lot of individuals out there who may be looking at this who feel the same way. I go off and I handle what I have to handle. Then when I come back, I'm okay. There's nothing for me to take out on you. Now, there's a difference between taking something out on the person and simply sitting down, having a conversation and trying to get some clarity. It's understood that when you ask a friend to sit down and talk with you, and you got something to get off your chest, it's understood that now we chosen this particular occasion to try to reach some clarity. But when the first time you see them, you upset and you're saying things that are erratic, it's clear that what's happening with you is based off of something that's going on internally. So the way I handle it is I go off and handle whatever's going on with me. Then I come back to my friend because they don't deserve that, man. They don't deserve to have whatever's going on with me or being thrown onto them. They have their own problems and difficulties. So like I mentioned, man, friendship, real friendship, people who really willing to stand there with you through difficulty, through what may. That's a blessing, man. So as I mentioned, fight for your friends, man. Everybody has them, It's a lot of people that show themselves, to genuinely care about you and what's going on with you. And so, as far as that reputation is concerned, man, we can't allow people who have ulterior motives to destroy our friend's reputation. We just can't do it. If you my friend and I've given that title to you and you become part of my family, it's going to take a whole lot, to take that title away from you. But that was just my thoughts, man. It's like I mentioned, it's odd how people, it looks like they're trying to cause problems where there are none. And I just don't understand it. Life would be so much better if people would just focus on the positive and just go on with their day. Well, anyway, you know me. I got a meeting I got to go to at 9:30. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope that there's nothing today that causes you to have difficulty or anxiety. I hope it goes well for you. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.